Today, I am part of an amazing event that's closing out TIFF. It's called Exhibit Gray. There is going to be art, there's going to be musical performances. This space is a new space in Toronto. It's honestly one of the coolest interiors I've seen in a long time. So I'm really looking forward to showing you this eclectic vibe that they have going on. So let's go.
This is our 8th stop on Exhibit Gray. We started in New York, went to Atlanta, Miami, Los Angeles, Oakland, New Orleans for Essence Festival, and we're so happy to be here in Toronto.
We are about to hit the stage in about 20 minutes. I get very anxious before I go on stage because, people are coming for a show. They're coming to have their lives changed. They're coming to hear like a single nugget that will shift the course of how they view the world. And so I just pray that God will bless me with a great message to deliver to the audience. And I just hope that each and every one of my panelists also rock the show.
Who has social media in here? There's a social media you, and then there's the real you, right? Or no? Are you the same? It's created a false sense of reality, right? Like we're likes and followers, like the new social acceptance. So how do you balance social media and real life, right?
I really try not to comment about social media. Obviously, it was not in existence when I started my company. So when Jermaine Dupree comes by my office, I have something called CEO to CEO. Or when L.A. Reid comes to my office, it's a CEO to CEO conversation. When it's a little young person, I've enjoyed doing these boomerangs. All of it's not real to me because I don't get paid from it. I'm having fun with it. It's not that serious to me. I hope everybody else is having fun with it and is making great statements about who you are.
4 days ago, my Instagram got permanently deleted. I do shoot nude. However, I in my opinion, it's very tasteful. It's very just a form of expression, and yeah.
I'm not sure that I coexist with you on nudity because I'm very afraid of what unintelligent people perceive as a reality. I had to ask one of the young ladies, I said, I really feel bad that I looked on your Instagram page because I've seen you in all of your bra and panties for like 30 days. And I cautioned her and I said, I love you and I want to respect you, but I want you to respect yourself, and if that's who you are, that's cool, but I'm not sure of the message. And I left it at that because it's not for me to judge. I don't judge nobody on a social program, but it's a tough time for the community.
We have two ladies on the panel. Creative journey is different for men and women. Share some of your experiences where you have felt that difference, where you felt that pressure, and how did you overcome that? How did you navigate through the idea that it is different when you're a woman in this creative space?
Yes, we have to deal with men judging us and critiquing us, but we also have to deal with women doing the same, right? And I'm grown enough to admit that I was one of those women. I was critical of myself and critical of others. And I want to be super transparent. This is not a story that I've shared with anybody, but that is how me and McKinney met, right? Before McKinney came on the scene, I was doing my thing. I was flying all over the place, speaking, and I was happy. McKinney came on the scene all cute, you know what I mean? Right? I was like, who's this girl? Who are you? And she has a powerful story. She's amazing, right? And I was just being shady. But the thing is, no matter how shady you are, someone like McKinney, who's a light, she's always gonna shine, right? So what I did, absolutely. So what I did, how I overcame it was I reached out to her and I asked her to dinner. And I knew if I was going to reach the full potential of my life, I had to stop being a bitch, right? I had to, by default, my father's a military man, so by default, my setting is to dominate. When I sensed competition, right, I had to get vulnerable, right? I got insecure. So me and McKinney, we sat down and we had a grown woman conversation about it. And I'm so blessed that she was open to talk about it because now me and McKinney have done business together. We've traveled together. She's my confidant. We've prayed together. And Yeah, like there's a lot of critique within the female community as well. So not only are we dealing with bullshit from guys, but like we also have to address the issues that are happening among us.
I'm a single mother, and I had my first child at 17. People assume that I'm promoting teenage moms. I do a lot of mentoring to teenage moms, so I speak about teenage moms because I feel passionate about empowering them to be contributing members to society and to do more. I get some flack about, just being too open sometimes. Some women are like, yeah, it's great, you can do that, but I would never put my business out there. My brand is about authenticity and transparency. I share my relationship, I share my kids, I share my ups and my downs.
Vulnerability is important. It's important and key to have discernment and know when to be vulnerable, who to be vulnerable to. So have you ever had to sacrifice a relationship or a friendship to pursue your passion?
I think for me, it's important to remember, because we talked about motivation, right? But we didn't talk about like external factors and what is killing that motivation. I'm sure everyone has a dream killer in their life, right? Whether it's your mama, whether it's your friend, whether it's someone, the people closest to us, right? And we have to keep in mind that like they're entitled to their opinion, but you're entitled to also look past it. Right? And oftentimes dream killers want to comment on something where they have no real experience in, right? So I know my triggers as I navigate life with depression. I stay away from my triggers as much as I can. And I just remember that there is life after disappointment. For a lot of people, their expectations exceed their effort, right? And so you're not just sacrificing relationships, you're sacrificing sleep, you're sacrificing your time, you're investing your money. And we have a lot of big dreamers out here, but when it comes to the expectations or the level of patience and their tolerance, right, it's very minimal, right? So yes, on one side of things, relationships, okay, you're gonna get rid of, you may sever ties with your parents or your friends, but I think also too, like you gotta check the relationship with yourself, right? Are you really in this to win this? Because entrepreneurship is not for everybody, right? And if your business is not making money, then it's a hobby, right? So I think you really, like, self-awareness is a very important factor in the journey to building your brand as a creative.
With your parents, you gotta let it go. You really got to get over this thing about parents and cousins, friends who don't pay you. That is not how you assess your business relationships. So for me, it's all about a maturation. People used to walk up and say, I really don't think Rolling Out is a good name for a brand. That was 20 years ago. If I had listened to anybody outside of God and me, I wouldn't be an entrepreneur today. That's the end of the story. It's you and God. It's your journey. If you're looking for somebody to tell you you're great, you're crazy. Look in the mirror every day and repeat your affirmations to make you get through the day.
Oftentimes, the dream killers are actually the people that love you, and they're not doing it intentionally. So your family and your friends love you, and they think they know what's best for you. So when you tell them that you're gonna do something outside the box, they're like, no, you should do this. They give you their opinion based on their perspective. I don't listen or take counsel from anyone I don't want to switch places with. So if I'm asking you advice on a relationship, if you are not in a relationship, I don't want your advice. No offense.
Pauleanna, I want you to speak to the culture here and how you were able to step outside and go on this journey and this dream of yours, this unconventional, that's like, new and groundbreaking. How did you take your first step?
I've been in the world of journalism and media for 10 years, but what you guys need to know is that I'm actually a college dropout. My first step came the day that I dropped out of school because I was in a program that I hated, and when I walked towards that door during exam week, that light represented freedom for me. So leaving school was very scary, but I trusted that if I took a step, no matter how shaky it was, that God would put out a safety net to catch me, and He did.
The night went really well. The panel was amazing. The energy was great. It was really awesome to see what Anaton and James could create in another city. This is their 8th tour stop. And I see this being a lifelong friendship. So I'm very, very grateful for honesty, vulnerability, storytelling, and taking risks. I can tell you to follow your dreams, I can tell you to follow your passion, all that bullshit, but like, honestly, if you don't have self-awareness, if you don't have emotional intelligence, if you don't have the basics, nothing is ever gonna come to fruition. So have conversations with yourself, because that's really what's gonna determine whether you win or lose.